Good evening. Tonight, I think I'd like to discuss something slightly different than what I've been prattling on about for the last few days. I just want to talk about the economic impact of uh, mass immigration into the UK via unemployment and social housing. I'll provide links below to where I've got my information from, although I won't be going into any great detail about it. I'll allow people to look into that for themselves. But it is from the Parliamentary Library website, I believe it's called. As I say, I'll put the links down below, and you can look over the facts and figures for yourself. And if you're not happy with what's there, obviously, then take that up with your own MP. I'm merely just conveying this. With regards to the employment figures, it appears, at least for the last 2 years, that talking about percentages here, that the white population of the UK has sat around 3% unemployment. Now, all other categories that are on there are almost at the very least twice as high. I believe the lowest being 5.8%, going all the way up to nearly 10% for other categories. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which one's which. And I just wonder about the sort of burden this places on wider society, having to obviously pay for these people who are obviously unemployed and will be in receipt of money. And that's not to say that some of them may or may not be working cash in hand, so to speak, and therefore not paying tax, but still also withdrawing from the state and making use of things such as the NHS and receipt of benefits, various benefits, etc., etc. And also, which will lead me neatly into my second point, they may also be receiving housing benefit as well. And once again, I shan't go into any facts or figures, and these numbers are much more telling, I think, because it specifically says white British are less likely to live in social housing at all levels, I believe is the exact wording it uses, and that includes for in London and outside of London. So I believe the highest rates of social housing use are all categories of black. So that's say Afro-Caribbean or black African, black British and mixed race. And I believe they're all over 40% of people who fit in those categories are living in social housing. I think I think off the top of my head I may be wrong, but I think it's Afro-Caribbean the highest. I believe 40. I think it was 44%, if memory serves. But again, check those numbers out yourself. I'm not quoting that as fact. And once again, I mean, nearly half of all social housing. Over half of all social housing is taken up by non-Britons, and by Britons I mean people from the what you may call the ancestral tribes of Great Britain. So people such as Celts, Anglo-Saxons, Picts, Norse, etc., etc., but not limited to. But you know, people who you would be considered as passing as those tribes as well. It's I just wonder what the actual cost is to wider society and what the financial impact is, because if we have a surplus of people in receipt of unemployment benefits and then people in social housing as well, where does this leave this so-called strength of diversity? Or is it, or when they say diversity is our strength, is that the politicians saying it strengthens their political career and their political party? Maybe just some food for thought, and give that a mull over, please. And don't forget to comment at the bottom if you've got any points you'd like to make and something for me to think about. Thank you. Bye bye.